We are live.
April 21st, live, Senate appropriation. Mr. Nixon is going to give us another wording change that's hot off the presses. What page in the translucent hard copy does this go in?
In the translucent, I believe it would be the penultimate page.
I'll get the drop like that. Effective dates.
Great Nixon joint fiscal. So, reflecting the committee's discussion from earlier this afternoon, this would be an update to the effective dates section, stating in subsection E that position creation, the positions listed in those enumerated sections shall only take effect on August 15th, provided that the official state revenue estimate for the general fund approved by the emergency board at its July 2026 meeting has not been reduced by 1% or more from the estimates used to build the budget, or that the estimate has been reduced by that amount, and the joint fiscal committee approves a rescission plan that authorizes funding for the establishment of those positions, and then clarifies that any positions for which funding has been rescinded shall not be established.
So I think you weren't here when the. No, sounds good. Just make sure that the joint fiscal committee could keep the position needed to. Or just. Any questions for Mr. Nixon on this language that goes on with the next page? Some good if you have translucent copy. Okay. Did anybody have any? You could go get yours. I don't think we're gonna go through it page by page.
I mean, I think the only thing I also to flag, right? I think Brady flagged this before, right? You didn't catch some of those updates that he made earlier, already in that red.
The updates, well, he has a red version. The translation red version has the updates for the cash fund.
Yeah.
Capital bill hasn't passed, but they locked down cash fund parts, so that we can updates. And what was the other?
Senator Lyons' proposal relating to the removal of that one-time appropriations.
Shall consider.
The $400,000 opioid and special fund appropriation.
Any other questions that people have on the web report or any sheets that they went through?
I have a question.
Yes, yeah.
On the second page of this new language, I'm wondering if it should be in the penultimate sentence, if it should be an or, right? So, and the joint fiscal committee approves the rescission plan on its July 2026 meeting that does not rescind funding for the establishment of positions in all of these sections. I guess I'm wondering about if they want to fund some but not others.
And if the way I read it is their rescission plan might not include some, and then those would be funded.
If it's an and.
So they don't have to create it, they just have to pass it.
In their rescission plan.
Oh, I'm wondering about the block of them versus individual. I guess that's kind of. Does that make sense?
Well, it seems like if it doesn't go less than, if the revenue doesn't drop off, then it takes effect.
Right.
Revenue does drop off and they do nothing, then none of them will be. But they can approve a plan as an alternative path. And the plan can say which ones are.
As long as we're clear on that, because it's good. The way I was reading it was all of, E100 through E711 as a block. As opposed to we could do some but not others. So I'm just looking for flexibility.
Understood.
Yeah.
I would flag for the committee too, this language was added in joint fiscal work with legislative council quite quickly on it, but I think the understanding from both our office and the Office of Legislative Counsel is this language would certainly need further review and revision for anything that would ultimately be in the final committee of conference bill. So I understand the concern relating to that and but this language, I think certainly would need to be worked on further and reviewed further at a later time as well.
I think the clear, I think at least mine, that is the same as the Senator Brooks, you said that. If the joint committee does nothing and there was a 1% downgrade, none of the positions could go. They said they'd have to approve a plan and say which ones are. That's the exception.
Okay. And that makes total sense. Support the council.
The only other thing which we could maybe change the conference we need to is that this is the thing. They have to do it at their July meeting. They did it at the September meetings. Maybe they would need more information because July is the same day as they would know about the rescission. So more likely to have to September.
Absolutely, yeah. And the August 15th day, I think that would be a matter for conference as well. That's
the August 15th. That's when we have to do something.
if, for instance, if the Joint Fiscal Committee couldn't address that at its July meeting, then the August 15th date may conflict with the intent, then the configuration would have to occur before that decision plan would be reviewed by JFC.
Where is the August 15th?
If none of those contingencies occur, so then the positions are created on August 15th.
Right, very good. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe they could do it at their July meeting.
I'm sure consider your seriously saying with me. Up to 5. We'll have certain thoughts.
JW is the other. Okay, we. That, I would entertain a motion to continue. Like, page 951. So moved. Okay. With that motion, the clerk shall clerk. Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Page 951. Senator Baruch. Yes. Senator Brennan. Yes. Senator Lyon.
Yes.
Senator North. Yes. Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Westman.
Yeah.
Senator Purcell. Yes. Great. Great. Thank you. Kurt will be the reporter. If I could figure out a way to assign parts, I'll do that, but I don't know. Yeah, let me know. It might be easier just for me to do it, unless there's a section you wanted to. You can let me know, and I'll yield. The senator from the one, Martha Transportations, senior senator.
Yeah, I'd like, and the juniors communications.
Yeah, I mean, or we could just wait for them to get. I'll think about it. We're not, this will not be on the floor till a week next week. Finance is going to have it be on notice, skip over to Friday. Figure out Tuesday.
No, it gets referred tomorrow.
For tomorrow, they could vote it out tomorrow, then it'll be back on notice Thursday, so we could take it up Friday, then it would be on the other weekend. So we'll wait.
Yeah, but if we did that, then it would be on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right, so that's what we'd rather do it Tuesday than Friday.
Yeah.
And that also gives finance, they need enough. And also we want to give them the next.
So they, yeah, and then split the day.
Hope we can get 9:38.
Yes, we need 9:58.
Money.
One of my condolences.
I have no idea. Same thing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nixon. Unless you want to lead us through 8/7/62. Are you going to lead us through it?
No, I know, brother.
And all you are. Just make sure it's the okay. Welcome.
For having me, committee members, for the record, Tim Dublin, Legislative Council, I believe on page 762. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Check that before it's.
this is the Active Language County Governance Regional Study Committee. In essence, this is extending the life of the summer committee and County and Regional Government Study Committee, as well as restructuring some of aspects having to do with chairs, bringing from a co-chairs to singular chair, and then adding legislative and minorly adjusting some scope of the committees as well. As it came out of the Senate Government and Operations Committee, the report for the final back to be due on November 1st, 2027, and then it gave another reference to co-chairs in this evidence. With these, I should just say I provided a bill overview for those who are curious than not in this committee, which lays out the summary of the enabling acts of the committee, as well as summary of the changes, and provides a preliminary report of some of the somewhat initial findings of the committee. Its membership was kind of scrambled this election, and it really never had and finishes business, but generally described as what this bill has. The funny aspects of the bill are fairly limited. I believe it's just like for DMs, and I will defer to my colleagues in JFO who delve into that. But any questions generally about that?
I don't have any. We talked about it a little bit earlier. We have a member of the committee on the committee. So yeah, we're just interested in the per diem amount.
Good afternoon, the record Scott Moore, the fiscal office. This is a relatively very simple bill. We did look at an examination of what the expenses would be. I do have fiscal notes that is on your page, so this copy. If anybody would like a hard copy, I have them, otherwise they are posted. It's very simple. I told Al earlier, it's 200 some odd words in total. The total expenses we estimate in fiscal year 27 is $16,500. Earlier this morning, or actually this afternoon, I only went through the one-time appropriations, and I believe the one-time summary of appropriation line 64 is the appropriation for this, so we should be good to go there. The one thing I would also note is that last year's budget bill did appropriate $50,000 for this, for studies or other expenses. None of that has been touched. That's still left over from last year. But I think the committee might need full resources. $50,000 is still there from last year.
Where is that? What agency?
Yes, you will judge this out. Apologies.
Okay. So we already accounted for the money.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about this bill? Okay, well, entertain a motion to pass favorably.
So moved.
So moved. I think what wants to do.
I think my space all around.
Thanks. Okay. Senator Brew. Yeah. Brennan, yes. Senator Lyon.
Yes.
Senator Lawrence. Yes. Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yeah.
Senator Kirchland. Yes.
Let's see how he puts me in.
I knew we needed to do that. Lots of change. Clerk is that.
Who are you gonna appoint to?
I think that's three.
It's his bill.
Let's put no.
You played the minimus.
Okay.
Yes, this
So be it.
I'll do the copy.
okay. We have another bill we're hoping to get through today. Be done today after we do that. So tomorrow, we're gonna do the miscellaneous tax bill. Which we could spend time with, or we could, how much you want to go through it. And then, what?
H90, the PUC.
Oh, yeah, energy plan. Did you ever take that at your?
940. Yes, we did.
Nine-
But that was
Or 90.
Or nine- what is it?
940.
940.
940. Yes, we took.
Okay.
We have a report on 940. We had no amendments. to it. So
Okay.
we looked at it.
Cameron said he's on to it.
We could go on.
I already made a motion on this puppy.
Wow, okay.
Unit citation.
Do it H519. We have our election council here. Let us know if there's any financial impact. We got started general. We did get general idea already. You can give us a short version.
Sure. For the record, Cameron Wood, I'll split to the council. This bill is pretty straightforward, so I won't share my screen unless you all find that to be helpful. But this is minting the membership in Group G of the state retirement program. There are 3 municipalities that participate in the state retirement system. It is Randolph, Bethel, and Danville. This bill amends the group membership to allow municipal employees of those municipalities that are law enforcement officers with a level 2 or a level 3 certification, and their primary duty is law enforcement activity, allows those employees, I should say, it moves them over into Group G, which has slightly different calculation for when the individuals can retire. It's 55 after 20 years? Yeah, instead of 30 years. So this would ensure that those municipal law enforcement officers are on par with what other state law enforcement have within their group for ship. So that's pretty much the bill. It has the definition, it's amending all of the definitions to add in those particular employees, amending the definition of retirement date to add in the retirement date to make them equivalent with other members of Group G and with other state law enforcement. It has the kind of corresponding amendments throughout that chapter, the state retirement system, to identify that they have the retirement date, incorporating the necessary cross references, etc. And then it has a section that says there are current employees that would be covered here. And when you all as a body have done this in the past, where you take an employee that's in a group and you move them over to another group, you allow the individuals that are currently employed the option of whether they want to move over or whether they want to stay within their current retirement group. For everyone moving forward, they'd be in Group G beginning next year, January 1, 27. For the individuals who are currently employed, they would have a one-time irrevocable option. Do you want to stay in F? Do you want to move to G? That's what I'm saying.
The employees that ran off, Bethel and Danville don't have. It's only police officers.
Currently, so those 3 towns are participating in the state system. Only one of those towns currently has employees that meet the definition that would move over. In the future, if Danville or Bethel wanted to, employ law enforcement officers that meet those definitions, then they would be in Group G. But currently, Randolph is the only municipality that has employees that would fall under that category.
And then it also includes any current retired.
The retired individuals would be within whatever retirement group at the when they retired. So it wouldn't impact previous employees. These are only new employees, those that are currently employed and moving forward.
The big move in this is 30 years. And the encouragement. And we did this for a number of sheriff deputies too.
Yes, sir. You recently did this for sheriffs and deputy sheriffs 2 years ago. Before that, you initially created Group G for certain Department of Corrections employees of Vermont State Hospital, etc. And yes, sir, that's one of the primary differences is how they get to their normal retirement calculation. And it's after 20 years as opposed to 30 years.
And I would suspect if the plan that is 30 years, that the community is doing this is having trouble maintaining their law enforcement and get them trained and then move to someplace where they
Federal retirement.
they're retirement.
Is it 20 years and 55? Or
It's 55 after 20 years. It's
that's the.
Just to clarify myself, our wardens, DMV enforcement are still in Group F. Do you know?
I'm getting a no from our JFO representative behind you. So I don't know if those are in the state. They're in Group C with the state law enforcement. Yeah, with state law enforcement.
Okay. Group C is also where the troopers. Troopers, wardens.
Are you sure? Yes, the state law enforcement, Chris Joint Fiscal, the state law enforcement are in Group C, the state troopers, the wardens, the DMV inspectors. I think some of the issues that Senator Brennan might have been alluding to have to do with their concerns about their compensation plan, but that's different than. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that could be too. Okay. Because it's 55. You have to be 55 if you have 20 years and you're under 55 to be retired. You have to be 55 and 20.
I will also just comment, there is an amendment to the bill. Initially, it came over from the House. The Senate Government Operations Committee approved it as it was passed by the House with no changes. I then brought to their attention, there are just some incorrect date references and some of the definitions in Group G that don't actually have anything to do with moving these individuals over. But from a previous transition, from the previous positions, you all moved over to Group G. There's just what I would say is just a technical error in some of the date references. So the members of that committee do have an amendment that they would potentially be offering on the floor. I don't want to speak for them, but I've drafted something up to make some fixing a few errors in the definitions section, just for your awareness. Does it make a lot?
And if it's a quick answer, why those three towns participated in the states?
I don't know the answer to that. It's my understanding from listening to representatives from the retirement division, state treasurer's office, is it's just a legacy holdover. Those three municipalities wanted to participate in the state system as opposed to being in the municipal retirement system, and at this point they're there. So they don't change.
What happened with the deputies and sheriffs, they made an election before they had the 24 and elected to a 30-year retirement back in the day, and they thought they were doing a good thing, and then they get bound into a retirement plan, and others are in a 20-year retirement, so they end up in competition where they had made this election years ago and are caught. And I suspect that it's probably something very similar.
Or other municipalities that participate in municipal system have a 20-year retirement for 2 months. So there's not other towns that are going to want to switch over.
No. This would make it equivalent to what you have for the state police, what you have for the sheriffs, what you have in the municipal system under that membership or similar positions. So this would make them relatively equivalent to all other law enforcement states.
I'll move 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask Mr. Rick if the fiscal note said it.
He said to me,
Chris from Joint Fiscal, I mean, there are words in the fiscal note, but I mean, I'll give you the highlight. This is not going to have a cost to the state. It will have a de minimis impact to the pension system. And there's just a couple reasons for that. One is the towns that participate in VSERS, they pay for the employer share of their benefits. So the state budget isn't paying for the employer share of Randolph's employees. Second reason why is that the added cost of being in Group G is borne by the members in Group G. They pay a contribution rate that's 4.68% higher than they otherwise would had they remained in Group F. And that's to make this cost neutral to the employer. And we're dealing with 3 FTEs in a system that is, almost 10,000 active members. So this is a negligible number of people, and as Senator Westman mentioned, you already did this for deputy sheriffs a few years ago. And so you already have a demographically similar workforce in each. So this is just 3 additional people. And my last point is, even though one town, I don't want anybody to think this is a special bill just for one town. It just happens to be that there's one town that's caught in this unusual situation.
Yes, I don't know.
I'm also late today. I think that's the question. There's probably going to camera. I was a little surprised. When did they start allowing level 2s? to participate in a retirement program.
Question that I would need to go do some research. Chris may actually go and answer.
Not aware of that ever not being the case.
Level two is nothing.
Are you thinking of level ones?
Yeah, well, that's three, part-time service. Level two, those individuals want full-time jobs, but can't go and start
Colonial type investigations.
they still go to the 80 hours, 2 weeks, I can 12-month period, then have a phase three training for this. So basically, I'm assuming they're sworn in as full-time officer in the phase three.
Since I've been here, they've never made a policy, you all have never made a policy decision to make this differentiation, so.
So I think it's a great program.
Predate me.
That costs us anything. I should have been 11 too. 80 hours straight.
Lot less drinking.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
while it's time at the academy versus 17 weeks at the academy, then. Yeah, I'm done. Okay, I'll question.
You want to make your motion
I
now?
already made a motion
Okay.
twice.
I will not recognize. Motion.
All right.
Senator Baruch,
Yes.
Senator Brennan, yes. Senator Lyon,
Yes.
Senator Norris. Yep. Senator Walker.
Yes.
Senator Weston.
De minimis.
Senator Birchwood.
Yes.
It does have the word de minimis, so do you want to report it?
How long are we?
That's not like my thing a lot about it.
Yeah, well, oh, perfect.
Run into problems on the floor. Don't look at me.
Oh, Doris was sitting in his seat. Bam, gone.
I'm gonna walk about.